documenting for months the outrageous propaganda and hate speech coming from places like CBS, because I know they're going to try to change history and deny it all, and people have a short memory. So here it is already. Here's Scott Pelley, the anchor of the most egregious propaganda arm of the Stop Trumpers and the DNC, trying to lecture us about toning down the rhetoric. In fact, he almost quit CBS last week because David Rhodes wanted the whole Russian narrative thing to go on and on. So watch this, hypocrite.
It's time to ask whether the attack on the United States Congress yesterday was foreseeable, predictable, and to some degree self-inflicted. Too many leaders and political commentators who set an example for us to follow have led us into an abyss of violent rhetoric, which, it should be no surprise, has led...
Excuse me, you're blaming this on someone else? They led us? You are the voice of this shit.
Violence. Yesterday was not the first time. In December last year, a man with an assault rifle stormed into a Washington area pizzeria to free child sex slaves whom Hillary Clinton was holding there, or at least that's what political blog sites had said. He fired into a locked door to discover no children in chains. Bernie Sanders has called the president the most dangerous in history, and the shooter yesterday was a Sanders volunteer. You might think that no sane person would act on political hate speech, and you'd be right. Trouble is, there are a lot of Americans who struggle with mental illness. In February, the president tweeted that the news media were the enemy of the American...
They are, because of this shit. It's going to cause this kind of violence. It's going to cause a breakup of our democracy. That is an accurate, non-hyperbole, non-inflammatory, factual tweet.
People. Later, at a lunch for reporters, President Trump was asked whether he worried that that language would incite...
What's wrong with that language? That has nothing to do with you guys saying Trump holding heads, beheaded, Kathy Griffin holding a beheaded picture of Trump, etc. It's not even comparable. Stop it.
Violence. His pause indicated it had never crossed his mind.
So
said,
Trump's default now. Trump is the one to blame. Okay, not Bernie.
No, that doesn't worry me. As children, we're taught words will never hurt me, but when you think about it, violence almost always begins with words. In Twitter world, we've come to believe that our first thought is our best thought. It's past time for all of us, presidents, politicians, reporters, citizens, all of us, to pause, to think again.
Yeah, why don't you start with your own news program and stop just blatantly spewing propaganda meant to make people angry as hell against all Republicans, you asshole.
The Facebook page was filled with anti-Trump, anti-GOP messages, leading a few conservatives to blame
an increasing intensity of hostility on the left.
New York Republican Chris Collins told a local radio host,
I can only hope that the Democrats do tone down the rhetoric. Some people react to things like that.
How dare they say such a thing?
Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi argued...
What a tone-deaf scumbag. Drain the swamp. There's Hollywood glorifying guns. Death is nothing. Watch them just kill some people. So what? So what? Watch this. Oh, liberal Ben Affleck, too. Murder away. Guns are cool. Look at guns. Guns are awesome.